Episode 185. Han Li felt that telling her about Mo Kaihuan and her daughter's disappearance would be entirely unnecessary. For Mo Fengwu, knowing she still had living family in this world was enough. Han Li then briefly recounted his encounter with Mo Kaihuan, leaving Mo Fengwu so moved she nearly wept with joy. Mo Fengwu knew full well that a cultivator of Han Li's standing had no need to fabricate lies to deceive a weak woman like her. The fact that he was still so polite to her was probably all because of that one meeting years ago. Mo Fengwu clasped her hands together in delight, pressing them to her chest as she offered a silent prayer. Only after a moment did she compose herself once more. But when she faced Han Li again, the chill in her manner had clearly thawed.
Thank you, junior brother Han, for telling me where Kaihuan and Xinyang are. This is the best news I've heard in years.
Once Mo Fengwu had recovered from her bottleneck, she began to express her thanks in a slow, measured tone. But before Han Li could respond, she brought up the matter of revenge once more.
Although my younger sister and her mother are safe, my eldest sister and the other concubines are still missing. They've likely already met with foul play. This vengeance, Fengwu must claim it for them. But I'm as weak as a newborn. Senior disciple Han will help me, won't you?
Mo Fengwu's voice trailed off as a look of profound vulnerability crept across her face. A mist of tears instantly veiled her bright eyes, as if she were on the verge of weeping in sorrow. Han Li rubbed his nose at this, feeling a great headache and helplessness.
I thought once she knew where Mo Kaihuan and her daughter were, she'd be less eager for revenge. But after all these years apart, she's still just as fixated on it. To be honest, killing a chi condensation cultivator would be far easier for me than taking the life of a mortal of standing for no reason at all.
Ever since entering Yellow Maple Valley, Han Li had known that the dozen or so prefectures of Yue State had long been carved up by the 7 great sects and several major families. Every long-standing secular power in a prefecture would inevitably draw the quiet attention of cultivators, and some were even propped up from behind by the great sects. Back then, the Mo estate of Lanzhou and the Overlord Villa were both newly risen powers, which was why they hadn't yet come into contact with cultivators from the immortal sects. Otherwise, when Han Li assassinated Ouyang Fichin of the Lone Villa back then, would it have been so easy to succeed, with no one ever pursuing the matter? But the Five Colors sect was different. It had risen over a century ago, making it a truly long-established sect. And Lanzhou, by the tacit agreement of the 7 great sects, was Spirit Beast Mountain's territory. More than likely, their influence was already at work behind the scenes, which was why the Mo family suffered such a crushing defeat the moment they clashed with the enemy. As a disciple of Yellow Maple Valley, Han Li couldn't just go around eliminating a secular leader backed by another sect without a proper explanation. Still, the demonic cultivators are planning to infiltrate Yue and wreak havoc on the mortal world. That makes for a perfect chance to fish in troubled waters. If he made his move during this window, as long as he was careful enough, he shouldn't run into any trouble. Han Li thought as much, but his face betrayed nothing. He rose and paced the room a few more times. He weighed the matter front and back, then fixed his gaze on Mo Fengwu's delicate face and told her calmly,
Miss Fengwu, ordinarily speaking, I cannot agree to this request of yours, as it would bring me immense trouble. But the current state of the cultivation world is rather unusual, so it can't be said that there's no chance at all. Here's what I'll do. If the opportunity arises, I can try to eliminate the Five Colors sect leader. But if things truly prove impossible, then Miss Fengwu, you should set aside these thoughts of revenge.
Mo Fengwu burst into tears of joy at Han Li's words, her radiant expression so dazzling that even Han Li found himself momentarily lost.
Back when I first met Mo Fengwu, I truly was taken by that gentle and lovely second miss of the Mo estate. Even to this day, that warm and endearing feeling she gave me remains vivid in my memory, a feeling I often find myself longing for. I suppose that was the first time I truly experienced the stirrings of love between a man and a woman. This small promise. It's my way of settling things with Mo Fengwu.
Han Li thought this to himself, but on the surface, his expression remained unchanged. He had decided to bury those feelings deep within his heart. And Mo Fengwu finally snapped out of Han Li's somber joy. Her face was full of gratitude. She said nothing. But in a few steps, she was right in front of Han Li, then suddenly pressed her lips lightly against his cheek.
With Junior Han's promise, even if you didn't kill that person in the end, Feng Wu is still deeply grateful.
With that, the young woman silently pulled her cloak over herself and hurriedly left Han Li's room. Han Li touched the spot on his face where she had kissed him, a strange expression flickering across his features. Not long after, he propped his chin on one hand and sank into thought for a long, long time. The next morning, Han Li woke from his meditation. He thought back on the previous night's events and couldn't help but sigh inwardly.
If Mo Fengwu also possessed a spirit root, I would definitely bring her into Yellow Maple Valley and become her Tao partner, cultivating the Great Way together.
Han Li, having finished washing up, stepped out of the room. He decided to first familiarize himself with the layout of the Qin estate before considering anything else. But to his surprise, the moment he stepped out, he spotted Qin Ping standing in the courtyard with a grin on his face. Before Han Li could even voice his surprise, Qin Ping was already quick on the uptake, explaining himself first.
The master ordered me to serve as your personal attendant for now. If you ever need anything done, young Master Han, just give the word. This young Master Han may come from a small place and doesn't seem all that sharp, but he carries serious weight in the old master's eyes. That alone is worth my effort to cozy up to him. And if I serve him well, who knows, I might even win the old master's favor.
Qin Ping ran the numbers in his head, already counting his chickens before they hatched, and silently sneered at those fools who had turned down the chance to be this country bumpkin master's attendant.
I heard from the lady's maid that this one is almost certainly the master's illegitimate son. As long as the master lives, how could he ever neglect this young master? And as young Master Han's personal attendant, his own fortunes would naturally rise with the tide. Far better than running errands for the third madam.
Of course, Han Li had no idea what was really going through this man's mind.
Qin Yan really knows how to handle people. He must have realized I'm unfamiliar with the Qin estate and Yujing, so he immediately assigned me a guide. This is a real lifesaver.
Han Li thought to himself, and a smile crept across his face.
I've never seen such a large stretch of houses before. I was thinking of taking a look around. Why don't you come with me?
Of course, young master.
And so, with Qin Ping leading the way, Han Li began to wander around the sprawling Qin estate. Although some areas were occupied by the womenfolk, making it inconvenient for Han Li to get a close look, pointing things out from a distance was something no one dared to criticize. After all, Qin Yan's words from yesterday had already spread throughout the entire Qin estate.
This here is Second Master's Wealth and Honor Courtyard. Besides the Second Master himself, his two youngest sons reside within. And the compound next door.
Qin Ping proved to be a thoroughly competent guide. Not only did he name every courtyard for Han Li, he also pointed out each resident within, allowing Han Li to quietly commit it all to memory. When he reached the residence of the young lady Biao Fenwu, Han Li's expression flickered. He lingered a moment longer than usual, then departed with his composure fully restored. In no time at all, Han Li had surveyed the entire Qin residence, yet he still seemed far from satisfied. In the end, he simply had Qin Ping lead him out of the Qin residence, strolling through the livelier spots in the courtyard while keeping Qin Ping talking non-stop. They followed the capital's more famous sites and bustling districts for a full morning. The lively excitement on Qin Ping's face had long since vanished. Now, limping along behind Han Li, his expression was one of pure misery. After walking for hours without a single break, while having to keep up a running commentary the entire time, anyone would have that look on their face. This made Qin Ping wonder, for the first time, if he had chosen the wrong master.
Oh, I may not hold a high position in the Qin residence, but whenever I had to travel far, I always called for a carriage. It's been ages since I've walked this long on foot.
Qin Ping now felt a dull, swelling ache in both heels, a stabbing pain like needles, not to mention his hoarse, raw throat. However, when he saw that his new master was still in high spirits, bustling over to a porcelain stall and peering around in every direction, he could only grit his teeth, take another step forward, and reluctantly follow along.
If the master hasn't complained of exhaustion, how dare a servant like me complain?
I'm getting a bit hungry. Should we find a place for an early dinner?
Qin Ping had just reached Han Li's side when he heard those words. He immediately chimed in with eager agreement, then enthusiastically suggested they dine at a nearby tavern, praising its signature dishes to the skies. Han Li found it somewhat amusing, but kept a straight face as if to say, "You're in charge." With Qin Ping practically dragging him along, he stepped into the modest two-story tavern. The first floor of this tavern was for common patrons. The second floor was reserved for those with status and standing. Qin Ping naturally wouldn't let Han Li dine on the first floor, even if his master did seem rather tempted. There were only a few guests on the second floor, 3 or 4 tables at most. One table, however, had 3 men and 2 women drinking together, which was truly shocking to behold. When Han Li stepped into the inn, he naturally cast a glance or two at that table, and what he saw gave him pause, because all 5 of those men and women were qi condensation cultivators at the 10th layer or above. That was hardly ordinary.
Could they be from the 6 Devil Dao sects?
Han Li immediately used his qi attraction technique to rein in his spiritual qi. To any low-ranked cultivator far weaker than himself, he now appeared as nothing more than an ordinary mortal.
Young master, this way, please.
Qin Ping, gritting his teeth against the pain in his feet, led Han Li to a table near the front. He even wiped the wooden chair with his sleeve before gesturing with a full-faced smile for Han Li to sit. Han Li looked a bit embarrassed and quickly urged Qin Ping to sit down as well. This time, Qin Ping didn't stand on ceremony. After a few polite refusals, he obediently sat down. His feet were killing him, so at this point he couldn't afford to worry about social rank. As soon as they sat down, the waiter hustled over.
What'll it be, honored guests? We've got some famous signature dishes here. Real crowd pleasers.
Set up a table with fine wine and dishes, and bring one of every signature dish you have. Use the best ingredients. My master here is a young lord of the Qin Manor.
Knowing Han Li would never order the expensive dishes, Qin Ping took the initiative and spoke up for him. And the moment he brought up the Qin Manor, his whole demeanor instantly became smug.